there is one word that I would use to describe Pure Life Ministries in August of 2015, it would be tired. It had been a difficult year. Since January, we had helplessly watched as program numbers steadily dwindled down to 40 men. The residential program is the lifeblood of this ministry, so the sight of that many empty beds was depressing. Plus, as a staff, honestly, we were suffering. This is a hard ministry, and many of our staff members had spent the prime years of their lives giving their best energies to this work. So when 12 of our staff members announced that they felt the Lord was moving them on, in a certain sense, it was understandable, but it was devastating. Over the next couple of months, there were many tearful goodbyes to our faithful comrades and good friends. Then, almost in a daze, those of us that remained tried to come up with a game plan. The road ahead seemed impossibly long, but what options did we have? We had to keep going. If you had asked me then what the best case scenario was going forward, I probably would have said that we just keep the doors open. But in the months following the departures, something really exciting happened. It all started with the residential program. Without any observable reason, applications started streaming in, and before we knew it, the place was full again. And then this kind of renewal started spreading to the staff. A new generation of leaders began to rise within the ranks, and people were joyfully responding to the challenge of having an increased level of responsibility for the ministry. Soon, God called a number of new people to give their lives away here. It was unbelievable. It was like a fresh wind was sweeping through the ministry, and with it came new energy and this kind of contagious excitement. That energy and excitement translated into a lot of change. We started taking a fresh look at the various arms of the ministry. The counseling department put their heads together and went over every aspect of the residential program to see where things could be improved. Ministry outreach examined the philosophy of the speaking ministry, the website, and our teaching materials. And when we emerged from our brainstorming, we had a vision for the future. The residential program would be restructured into 2 phases, and extra emphasis would be given to preparing students for an effective transition back into normal life. The website would be redesigned with a tighter focus on people in crisis situations receiving help and hope in their time of need. Plus, we would start using social media and a blog to spread the word about Pure Life Ministries to those outside our normal sphere of influence. But one of this past year's most significant innovations happened in a totally unforeseen way. In February of 2016, Steve Gallagher felt a stirring in his soul to schedule a preaching tour of Texas prisons. While he was down there ministering, we received a call from the chaplain of Huntsville Prison, the principal penitentiary in the Texas Department of Corrections. He wanted to know, do we ever send speakers down there to Texas? Wow, talk about God's timing. Within days, Pastor Steve was teaching in that very prison, sharing with those men the keys to overcoming sexual sin. After the meeting, the chaplain excitedly told him that they already had plans to teach a class through our flagship book, At the Altar of Sexual Idolatry. He told Pastor Steve that he wanted to see that class being taught in every one of the 109 prisons in Texas.
Well, you know, I've had a burden for inmates for many years, so when I heard the chaplain say that, it was very exciting. But the thing that bothered me was many of them I know just don't have the situation where a chaplain can teach through a class. So the thought came to me, why not produce a video series that these chaplains could use? That way every facility could have the ability to have that class available.
A video series? We had never done anything like this before. The weeks after we officially launched the project were so exciting. We prayed, we brainstormed, we prayed, we researched, we prayed, we met together. Did I mention that we prayed? Every Monday morning, the speakers got together to discuss how best to teach that next class, because we really wanted to plumb the depths of the truths that are already in the book. We also knew that when it comes to ministering to men in sexual sin, testimony plays a crucial role because it proves to a hopeless man that God has real power to transform lives. So while the speakers devoted themselves to the teaching aspect, our video department worked feverishly to produce the testimonies of 14 men whose lives had been transformed at Pure Life Ministries. 8 months later, on December 23rd at 9:59 p.m., Josh Bergstrom and I signed off on the project. We could hardly believe it. It was done.
I really don't have the words to describe the feeling that I had when we said, this is done. We had given so much time and energy to it. And it really is clear, though, when I look back, that God was shaping this whole thing. I mean, just from the sheer immensity of the project to when I would go on a shoot filming a testimony, I'd get a flash of inspiration right then, and that would usually make it into the final product. It was just clear that, God was in control. It was totally impossible for us to do this, but the Lord did it.
On February 7th, we released it to the public. As the orders began flooding in, Pastor Steve went to work on making it available to prisons in Texas and across the country. After all, this is why we started the project in the first place. Within 3 weeks, we had donated over 5,000 copies of At the Altar of Sexual Idolatry and its workbook. Right now, this DVD curriculum is being shown to large groups of sex offenders and general population inmates in 30 different prisons. Then on April 6th, we were awarded the prestigious Governor's Volunteer Service Award from the Texas Board of Criminal Justice. Steve Gallagher received the award on behalf of Pure Life Ministries for the work we have done over the years to help prisoners in the state of Texas.
When we first started this whole DVD curriculum project, the only thing we had in our minds were to help inmates. But as we got into the project and started taping these testimonies and all the teachings and started seeing how well this thing was turning out, we started thinking, we could do a lot more with this thing. We started thinking about making it available for support groups and for pastors and even individuals. And that just kind of really broadened out our vision for the project. It really became much greater than we had anticipated in the first place. It really was quite an accomplishment for Pure Life Ministries.
So the reality is we are very limited in the number of people we can reach and help in their sexual sin. We have limited number of beds, we have limited counseling slots, but with this DVD series, it really opens that up and gives us a brand new way to offer people substantial help for their sexual sin. So that even people like our graduates, which are one of our greatest assets truly, they can take these same truths that have transformed their lives and take them and go minister to other men without having to do the teaching themselves.
There is no question that this DVD curriculum is a game changer for Pure Life Ministries. But God wasn't done just yet unfolding His new plan for the ministry. He had even more in mind. Just a couple of months ago, we decided that our book, Irresistible to God needed a facelift. The book was originally written in 2003. It needed a redesigned cover and some internal tweaking. But when Pastor Steve got to work on it, he was flooded with so much inspiration that he decided to do much more than just tweak it. Soon he was completely engaged in a thorough rewrite, which also added 7 new chapters of material.
I knew that I had touched on an important subject for Christians to consider in that original book, but I still felt like it was too superficial, and I really felt a burden to delve deeper into the issues of pride, but also a little more about what it takes to come out of pride and into a life of humility.
Then we tackled the issue of the title. How could we capture the essence of the book in such a way that would compel people to look inside? After a 3.5-hour grueling brainstorm session, we knew we had it.
This book teaches truth that's so important, but we realized a lot of people were overlooking the book. Now this new title is going to do something awesome. People in crisis situations want answers, and this title says the book will give them profound answers about the real nature of their problems. The whole thing could not have turned out better.
As we look forward into the future, things are no less exciting. We're looking at the possibility of rewriting some of our other mainstay books like Intoxicated with Babylon and When His Secret Sin Breaks Your Heart. Plus, what if we could dramatically improve the way we are ministering through our Overcomers at Home and Wives programs?
Phone counseling really presents some very unique challenges. Oftentimes, the counselee and the counselor can feel disconnected from each other because they're not meeting face-to-face. Turning in homework for the phone counseling program is really inefficient at best. So this year we're looking at the option of changing from our current format to a distance learning online format. What if a counselee were able to turn in their homework daily and a counselor was able to look at it and check on progress? What if a counselee was able to look at one of our services online? And what if we were able to do video counseling? For 2017 and beyond, we're really excited about the future of the phone counseling program.
Bottom line, God has done and continues to do incredible things in our midst. And we are so grateful for His constant care and concern, not only for us, but for the people that He will reach through our ministry.
2 years ago, it almost seemed like the ministry was dying. Little did I know all that the Lord was going to unfold in the days ahead. It has just been amazing how much we've been able to do in spite of the fact that all of our counseling programs have operated at near capacity levels. The Lord is just amazing.
Yes, there are many exciting things going on here at Pure Life Ministries, but what we never lose sight of is the crucial role that our faithful donors play in all of this. It's just true, it takes finances, money to move things forward, and our donors have been so faithful in equipping us with the finances we need every year. And once again this year, we're hoping that each one here tonight will want to join with us in another exciting year of winning souls for God's kingdom.